Did you know that every day factories around the world produce billions of cigarettes using a process that's both fascinating and concerning? Sound of machinery whirring. While we're not promoting smoking, which we all know is harmful to health,
yes, of course it is.
understanding how these products are made helps us better grasp their environmental and social impact. Have you ever wondered why some cigarettes taste different from others, or why some burn faster?
Really? Tell me about it.
The secret lies in their manufacturing process. But before we dive deeper, let me ask you something. What do you think is the most complex part of cigarette production? The tobacco preparation or the actual rolling process?
I don't know.
Picture this, a vast field of green tobacco plants stretching as far as the eye can see. But here's something that might surprise you. Those plants you're imagining, they're actually related to tomatoes and potatoes. Yes, that cigarette and your French fries are distant cousins. Who knew? The journey begins with tobacco farmers carefully nurturing these plants for months. But here's a question that might make you scratch your head. Why do farmers harvest tobacco leaves at different times instead of all at once? The answer lies in the plant's biology. Each leaf position produces a unique flavor and burning characteristic. Remember those old movies where tobacco leaves hung in big barns? That's still happening today, but with a high-tech twist. Modern curing facilities look more like science labs than barns. And no, they don't just stick the leaves in a giant microwave and press defrost, though wouldn't that be something? What if I told you that before any tobacco even reaches the factory, it goes through a process that's almost like brewing tea? The leaves are aged for up to 3 years.
Like, seriously.
That's longer than some people keep their smartphones. Speaking of aging, can you guess what happens to tobacco leaves during this time that makes them more suitable for cigarettes? Now, here's where things get really interesting, the blending process. Imagine being a chef, but instead of cooking with ingredients, you're mixing different types of tobacco to create specific flavors. But here's a brain teaser. Why do manufacturers blend different types of tobacco when they could just use one kind? The actual cigarette making process would make any engineer's jaw drop. Modern machines can produce up to 20,000 cigarettes per minute, and that's faster than most people can count to 100. But have you ever wondered how they get the tobacco inside that paper so perfectly every single time? Let's talk about those filters. They're not just random pieces of fluff. They're engineered products made from cellulose acetate, designed to, well, filter. But here's a question that might change how you think about cigarettes. Why did manufacturers start adding filters in the first place? And what year did this change happen? Quality control in cigarette manufacturing is more intense than a spelling bee championship. Each cigarette must meet exact specifications for weight, density, and circumference. Think about this. How many individual quality checks do you think a single cigarette goes through before it's packaged? Speaking of packaging, the machines that wrap and box cigarettes are like mechanical origami masters. They can fold, seal, and stamp faster than you can blink.
Wow.
But here's something to ponder. Why are cigarette packs designed the way they are? And how has their design evolved over the years? Now for the environmental elephant in the room. Cigarette manufacturing faces serious sustainability challenges. From agricultural practices to packaging waste, the industry's environmental footprint is significant. This raises an important question. What innovations are being developed to make cigarette production more environmentally responsible? Here's a mind-bending fact. The paper used in cigarettes has tiny holes poked in it to control burning. No, they're not trying to save on paper. There's actually a scientific reason. Can you guess why these microscopic perforations are so important? The final product goes through a remarkable journey of precision engineering and quality control, but perhaps the most fascinating aspect isn't the technology itself, but how it evolved over time. Consider this, how different do you think cigarette manufacturing was 50 years ago compared to today? As we wrap up this behind-the-scenes look at cigarette manufacturing, it's worth noting that while the process is technologically impressive, it's crucial to remember that the end product poses serious health risks. The question isn't just how cigarettes are made, but what this knowledge tells us about industrial processes and their impact on society. What surprised you most about this manufacturing process? And more importantly, how do you think understanding these processes helps us make more informed decisions about both production methods and consumption habits?